think there's a whole lot of people aware of this, or maybe I'm the only one, maybe I'm crazy, but Christopher Nolan just did to Odysseus what Ruin Johnson did to Luke Skywalker, except this time it's worse because Nolan didn't make Odysseus just a tired old man, he made him guilty. There's a single rule buried in the script, one line of ancient Greek law that turns the most famous hero in Western literature into the villain of his own story. Stick around because by the end of this video, you're going to watch the Odyssey completely differently.
I'm such a bad man. I ended the Bronze Age.
Alright everybody, let's be honest, we all kind of walked into this movie expecting Gladiator with a boat. Nolan's biggest ad campaign in years, Matt Damon looking jacked on a poster. Every trailer beat screams triumphant homecoming. And then the movie reveals itself to be a Trojan horse. It was sold as an epic adventure and we were instead handed yet another Hollywood deconstruction of a hero.
Not great, Bob!
In lesser, more blatantly incompetent hands,
Kathleen Kennedy.
Right you are, Doge. The teardown of heroes was more transparent and glaring. Han, Luke, and of course Indy, where, remember, the original plot of Dial of Dysentery actually had Fleabag going back in time to achieve all of Indy's exploits instead of him, and then Bob Iger said hell no and made Kathleen reshoot all of it.
J.R.R. Tolkien once said, "Evil cannot create anything new. It can only corrupt and ruin what good forces have invented or made."
Right you are again, Doge, and she was an expert ruiner, but Nolan is more savvy, because buried in this film is a concept called Zeus's Law, and once you understand what it actually is, you realize Nolan built an entire 3-hour epic as a slow-motion indictment of his own main character. Okay, here's the concept in just plain English. Zeus's Law is the ancient Greek idea of Xenia, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it wrong. I mean, Nolan's already trampled all over the Greek culture, and I don't want to do it any more than he did. But the idea is sacred hospitality. Treat every stranger like they could be a god in disguise because you never know who's standing at your door. It's the golden rule with cosmic stakes attached. Break it, and the world just doesn't judge you, it unravels.
Spoiler alert. Zendaya is not Athena.
Watching this movie, I felt like something was up. You could practically make a drinking game out of how often Zeus's Law is referenced, and it's not a critical component of the original poem. Check out this article from actual scholars on that. Nolan uses it as connective tissue for the entire voyage. The Cyclops breaks the law by eating his guests. The last Dragonians break it with unprovoked slaughter. Circe breaks it by turning hospitality into a trap. Every monster Odysseus meets is really just a broken version of the rule he's supposedly fighting for. And then the twist, the Trojan horse, the thing this hero is famous for, the genius move that ends the war, that's the biggest violation of Zeus's Law in the entire film. Odysseus offers a gift under false pretenses to people who trusted him. He weaponizes hospitality itself. Now, to be clear, as a narrative conceit, I think it's kind of a brilliant mechanism for a story. If it was a different story, but Nolan uses it to subvert the character completely. As a result, we have an empty husk of a man, a bland, two-dimensional, Nolan-esque, tortured, empty soul protagonist who is no hero, no adventurer, and certainly no king. At no point are we ever actually shown why his men even follow him in the first place. At the whirlpool, the crew openly revolts, and he just kind of stands there on the deck of his ship, not doing anything, just kind of passively letting things happen. It's not something this guy would do at all.
But to be fair, they did change the song to tell him how horrible he was.
Right? The song is supposed to be the most beautiful thing anyone's ever heard, in order to lure men to their deaths, not browbeat them into not wanting to go home.
Women good, men bad.
Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Speaking of which, plenty of people are pointing to the fact that Nolan based his version of the Odyssey off of feminist Emily Wilson's translation from 2017. Well, guess what? Even she agrees. The AP goes on to report that other scholars and writers have been voicing the same concerns while they praise the scale, the visuals, and ambition. When it comes to the heart of the story, the very reason it's lasted for thousands of years, the film goes sideways. Wilson described Nolan's messaging in the film, condemning both war and physical cowardice as incoherent. Odysseus isn't the clever, sharp-talking survivor anymore. He's another Nolan character, weighed down, stuck in his own head, agonizing over his past decisions. That may have worked in another movie, but it's not what made the original Greek myth endure for centuries. As the AP points out, critics note that Matt Damon's take on Odysseus has been stripped of his core defining traits and reshaped into a more familiar modern character who struggles with PTSD and guilt. The clever trickster is gone, and in his place is someone far more serious, sullen, conflicted, and ultimately less interesting.
Behold my gruel. It is bland.
As far as some of the woke elements that people are complaining about, it's hardly a factor at all. It has like no impact on the movie, and I really think the only reason it's there is it's Oscar bait. The Oscars have certain DEI rules, just like Disney got in trouble for, and he's just trying to comply with those rules in order to get a better shot at Oscars. Some others have pointed out as accuracy is the problem. Is it? Other than butchering the main character? No. Granted, you can make it a problem by saying you wanted the score to be made with period-accurate instruments. Okay, then make a movie with inaccurate armor, modern language, and Viking ships. But okay, here's the thing. Braveheart is a deliriously inaccurate movie, but the story is what made people care. The story is what earned it the Best Picture Oscar. Nolan has the same problem that I think Cameron does. They get too caught up in the technology and forget about the storytelling. IMAX cameras sound like a diesel truck, so they had to build a special box to suppress the sound, which created a monstrosity so huge they had to create a special mirror system so that actors could still have line of sight with each other during dialogue scenes. A lot of effort into the tech and the problem solving, not the character in the story. There is so little character engagement in this movie. I was more aware of Batman, Catwoman, Spider-Man, and the Punisher all sharing a screen together as opposed to characters I was supposed to be connecting with. The only one who really brought any kind of game was Pattinson. Even with Matt Damon, there was no emotional engagement. Flat. He doesn't seem to care about anything, let alone going home, so why should I care? These soldiers were seeing amazing, jaw-dropping stuff, but you wouldn't know it from their reactions. The best part for me was Agamemnon, and maybe part of what made him so ominous and compelling was the fact that he didn't say anything. So I was able to just read what I needed to into the character without him ruining it by saying something ridiculous like, "This age of bronze is ending." That's that's kind of like someone in All Quiet on the Western Front going, "You know, World War I really sucks."
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
I can sum up this film with just one word: exhausting. And not in a good way. I came out feeling beat down. Are there worse films? Absolutely, but I also can't think of a Nolan film worse than this one. The pacing was downright baffling. It was boring, yet they were speed running checkboxes at the same time. How can you be too slow and too fast at the same time? Every new island was a Monty Python routine over and over. Braveheart may be inaccurate, but it's got replayability. All good epic films do. Lawrence of Arabia, Lord of the Rings, Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur. But not this one. I'm not going to be wasting my time on this one ever again, and neither should you. I don't think it'll age well either. The people desperately sucking its dick are eventually going to realize the truth, and it's going to fade into obscurity, just kind of like the Avatar movies. So other than the obvious message of don't go, here's why this matters to you specifically. If you've been burned by every deconstructed legend movie of the last decade, Luke Skywalker got turned into a hermit who almost murdered his nephew. Han Solo got demoted into a sad dad running from his own myth. Indiana Jones spent an entire fourth act being told adventure doesn't matter anymore. Nolan's did something structurally different, and it's worth separating the two. These other films deconstructed the hero after the legend was already built. They took a guy audiences already loved and undercut him retroactively. Nolan is doing it from inside the original myth's own logic. Homer's Odysseus was always morally messy. The horse, the lies, the affairs on his way home. But at the end of the day, he was the hero that ended the war, and the world needs its heroes, especially these days. As far as Western literature is concerned, Odysseus was the original hero. All others in the thousands of years since owe their very existence to him. Nolan broke that, and he made his changes explicit. Odysseus himself connects the horse to everything that happened to him at sea. He knows. He's not a broken hero by accident. He's a man forced to confront that he was never quite the hero that the songs made him out to be. What do you guys think? Does grounding Odysseus in Zeus's law make him more human, or does it rob the ending of the catharsis the myth is supposed to deliver? Drop your take in the comments. The dog wants to read them.
Hey now.
Yeah. Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one of those things. And freshness. It's been a while. Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one, and stay fresh, cheese bags.